we're gonna start. Welcome to McGill Robotics Info Session. Woo! So we're first gonna start by introducing ourselves. Some of the team members are here. So my name's Rasha. I'm the business team lead. I'm a U for electrical engineering.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm a U2 electrical engineer, and this year I'll be working on. I'm product manager of the AUV.
Hi, my name is Dia. I'm a U2 mechanical engineer, and I was working on Rover last year, but this year I'm planning on joining the AUV team.
Hi, my name is Sean. I'm a U2 mechanical engineering student. Last year I was also working on AUV, and this year I'm working on the Rover team.
So I'm U2 Mech Eng. Last year I was the frame and manufacturing sections leader. This year I'll be the pneumatic section leader.
I'm Russell. Last year I worked on power systems. This year we're working on controls and working on the electric systems.
I'm David, U2 computer engineering major. Last year I was working on designing and building the front end for AUV remote sensor. This year I'm going to be doing the same thing but for the rover.
Hi, I'm Oliver. I'm a U3 mechanical engineering student. I'll be the project manager for the Mars rover team this year. And last year I was working on the AUV on the external structures.
Hi, I'm Malcolm. I'm a U2 electrical engineering student. Last year I was project manager for Rover Ventures, and this year I'm working on acoustics.
I'm Alex. I'm a U3 software engineer, and I'll be in charge of making that robot autonomous.
My name is Genevieve Freed. I'm a U3 computer science major, and I'll be working on the software division of USC.
Hi, I'm Modi. I worked on the power systems for the AUV last year, and I'll be leading the electrical team for the rover team. Hi, my name is Matthew. I worked on the front end of the autonomous planner last year, and this year I'm going to be the software lead for the AUV team.
Hi, I'm Tian. I'm U4 software engineering, and I'll work on the AUV this year, and last year I worked on computer vision. So I'm probably going to do the same thing.
Hi, I'm Anas, U2 electrical engineer. Last year I worked on hydrophones, and this year I'll work on basically the same thing and sonar.
Hi, I'm Yana. I'm a U2 electrical engineer. Last year I worked on the power system, and this year I'll be working on acoustics.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I'm a U2 mech. Last year I worked on the AUV, some of the cooling systems for the computer, and this year some more mech stuff.
Hello, I'm Koi. I'm an M2, Master's Year 2. I'm a mechanical engineer, and last year I worked on the computer systems for AUV, and this year I'll be doing the systems for AUV.
Hi, I'm Rad. I'm Year 2 electrical engineer. Last year I was on the CANSAT team. I designed the ground and flight software.
Cool. Awesome. So before I begin, I just have to say that this is an amazing crowd. It's so great to see so many of you interested in McGill Robotics. And I'm going to introduce you to the team and tell you about it and why we're so special. So first of all, this is how it's going to go. I'm going to introduce you to a bit of history, where we come from, then the team, our values, why you should join. The different division project managers are going to present the projects we're going to be working on this year, and then the competition trip, and I'm going to present to you the business team, and finally the next step to actually join the team. So first of all, a little bit of history. This was McGill Robotics, former name McGill Lunarex, in 2013 when they participated to the NASA Lunabotics mining competition. So they built this robot, which name is El Gordo, which means the fatty, because it's just under the weight limit. And so they participated to that for the first time, and they ranked 12th out of 50 teams around the world for the first time participating. So it was an amazing thing. However, the NASA stopped accepting international teams, so we had to go towards another competition, and we wanted an international competition that had a lot of software, mechanical, electrical, a bunch of everything, and so that's how we went for the AUV competition, which is this robot right here, and Paul is going to talk about it more. So from Lunarex, which was 50 members in 2013, we grew to a team of almost 100 students, with always this philosophy that guides us through it, and which is team before machine. We really value that, and it means that we really value the relationships we build within the team before even start thinking about the robot we're going to build, because we believe that when you have a solid team of friends and you have this community, a top performing robot is just going to follow naturally. So that's where McGill Robotics started last year in September 2013, and where we recruited this large team of young students, almost 100, as I said. And really, we wanted to use first-year students so that we can build continuity for the team, so that I can graduate this year and know that the knowledge is going to pass on year after year in the team. So we like to call ourselves an umbrella organization. That means that we want to be the reference for all the robotics projects that are happening at McGill. And so we really encourage all the new ideas and new projects that are related to robotics. And so last year we had 3 main projects we were working on. So the first one is the AUV, as I mentioned, and we were 61 in that team. So a pretty big team that Paul's going to talk about. Then we had RoboVentures of 20 people. RoboVentures was a team mostly composed of first-year students, and which goal was to teach and learn the basics of robotics, and they worked on smaller scale robots, like Adam right there. I don't know if you're a returning student, you might have seen it going around school during Valentine's Day, distributing flowers to people. So it's basically an explorer bot with a rotating arm. And this team also participated to a lot of outreach events. So we go to high school and present our robots, etc., to kids. Then there was CanSat team, which was a smaller team of 10 people, and they built an atmospheric descent vehicle for a competition in Texas. And it's basically satellite in Can that you shoot, and that has to collect data and send it to ground stations. That was pretty cool. They went to Texas. It was an awesome experience. And finally, we have our own dedicated business team of 10 people that I'm going to go into details later. So that was the structure last year. This year, it's changing a little bit. We're going to have 2 main teams, the AUV team still, with 50 members, less than last year. And then a second big project was going to be the Mars rover, and Olivia is going to talk to you a bit about it, more about it, and it's going to also be about 50 members. And finally, still our business team of 10 people. So what's really special about us is that we're a very multidisciplinary team. We have people that are not only from engineering mostly, obviously, but we have people from management, from physics, from computer science, from arts, and this diversity makes us really special and makes us so great. And within engineering, we have a big panel of departments represented, not only electrical, mechanical, and software. We also have people from chemical engineering, from civil engineering, from materials, and who just were super interested in learning more about robotics and just joined the team and learned a great deal of things. So you don't have to be electrical, mechanical, or software to join. So why you should join? First of all, technical skills. As you know, McGill University is very oriented towards theory, and so that's why design teams are so great. You get to learn a huge set of skills that you don't in the classroom. Hands-on experience I'm talking about. You're going to learn how to use machine tools like mills, etc. You're going to learn how to design PCBs for electrical. You're going to learn a bunch of things in software that you don't touch, like computer vision, that you don't actually learn in your undergrad. So a huge set of skills that obviously is very valuable for your career. But what's special about us too is that we also focus on soft skills. For us, we think that in order to be taken seriously, you have to look serious. And by that I mean that we teach you professionalism and presentation, how to give presentation, how to convey a message in a concise way. So every 2 weeks or so, we have big demos with the team where division leaders present what they've accomplished so far. And this exercise taught us how to always look good, how to always be prepared, how to give a good presentation. And these skills are extremely valuable in the industry. Employers aren't looking for only engineers that know how to solder or know how to design PCBs. They want people with leadership skills, with communication skills, and that's something we teach you as well. Yeah. that's us at MDA, which is one of our sponsors. So they offered us an industry tour, and it was awesome. So that's the kind of thing you get through McGill Robotics as well, networking opportunities. What you get as well? Legitimacy. We worked really hard last year to become a legit team that conveys experience, and as you can see here, it's a picture of McGill homepage this summer. I don't know if you've seen it, but we worked really hard in branding ourselves and conveying legitimacy, and we got recognized for it by the school. So that's a pretty good thing. And finally, relationships. As I said, our mantra is team before machine. And we really, really value that. By joining the team, you're gonna have this big family and this set of friends. Especially if you're first year, it's a great, great way to make new friends. And we all worked hard together and towards the same to make this successful project. And you really create bonding and relationships that are really valuable for the future. And it's a great, great network also. So with no further ado, Olivier is going to introduce you to the Mars rover team.
Thank you, Rasha. So thanks again, everyone, for showing up today. It's great to see all of you here. So I'm here to talk to you about our brand new baby. It will be the Mars rover team, and I'll have the great honor of leading this team this year. So the Mars rover team. So it will be, first of all, to go compete at a competition that is called the University Rover Challenge. So the University Rover Challenge, or URC, is taking place in southern Utah, and it's in the Mars Desert and Research Station, in the Mars-like environment we have here on Earth. Once we get there, it will be, first of all, it will be hosted by the Mars Society, and then once we get there, we'll have the chance, first of all, to meet with all the other universities. There will be more than 30 teams worldwide going there. It will be a very great experience. And once we get there on the field, we have many tasks to do, which will be separated on different tasks. So all these tasks include, with our teleoperated rover, is first of all a terrain traversing task. So that's it. So we have a terrain traversing task where we have to go to different gates and actually just cross various rough terrains, rocky terrains, sandy terrains. There's also a task where we have to do a panel servicing task, where we have to turn on valves, activate buttons, flip switches, things like that. There's another one which is an astronaut assistance task, where we have to locate an astronaut that is in distress and bring him some payloads to assist him. We also have a sample return task that is a little bit more based on the science side, where we have to go on the field, locate a specific place, and dig in the ground, collect a sample, and do analysis with the sample with the rover, and then bring the rover back to the mission control and do some further analysis. And finally, the fifth task is the presentation we give to the judges, this famous formal presentation about our team and rover. So what's expected once we get there? Besides just making a very big impression on the international level, we'll have a team of 50 members approximately, which will be divided in 4 divisions. For the first time, a team in McGill Robotics will have 4 divisions. There'll be mechanical, electrical, software, and science. Mechanical will take care pretty much of drive systems of rovers, wheels, enclosures, the robot arms, things like that. The electrical side will be taking care of power distribution, voltage monitoring, current, battery monitoring, selecting all the actuators, the sensors, how do you wire everything of that efficiently. Software will be taking care of the whole human and computer interaction, which is very big on this project. So, and the science team will be taking care of this sample return task that I just talked to you about. So we can be extremely creative with this project, and I'm pretty sure we'll do a very great job on this side. So just to talk to you a little bit about our team structure, it will be very conventional compared to the AUV team this year, which Paul is going to talk to you about. So how everything of this will be structured in terms of communications? We'll first of all have the project manager, who will be me, and then we'll have the project manager will be mainly communicating with the division leaders, who are taking care of the mechanical, electrical, software, and some people will be taking care of the science division. And finally, we'll have each of these leaders will have to take care of section members and section leaders, who will be grouped in different people to work on the various aspects of the rover. All right? So I hope you find this extremely interesting, just like I am interested in this project, and I'm sure we'll do very well with all of you. So without further ado, I'll pass it on to Paul to talk about the AUV.
Hey guys, so I'm going to present the AUV. The first thing I want to know is if anybody knows what an AUV stands for. I'm going to go with this guy right here. Yeah. That is correct. So, an autonomous underwater vehicle is a robot which travels underwater without requiring input from an operator, which is, so essentially this. So this was designed for this guy right here. His name is Asimov. Does anybody know who Asimov is? Okay. Yes? What? I can't. So I guess, yeah, so you know who it is. It's an author. Alright, so I'm going to move on. This is another picture of the AUV, by the way, taken at the San Diego competition, so I'm going to talk about right now. So the RoboSub competition was launched in 1997 and co-sponsored by the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International, AUVSI Foundation, and the Office of Naval Research, ONR. This is the pool where we compete. So the robot is put in the water and we have to go through multiple tasks. This is basically like a bird's eye view of the pool itself. And so here you can see like there's a maneuvering task, and so that is what the mission at hand is essentially navigate autonomously and complete obstacles. So what it needs to do is like bump into buoys, shoot torpedoes at targets, like not like super fast, like chill, like not, and pick up and drop off items, locate acoustic pingers, and respond to light signals. But the actual mission is not revealed until the winter, so we have to design for something that might need, design modifications in January. However, the theme this year is Back to the Future, so not sure what that really means yet, but we'll figure it out, I guess. So the way that the project is developed is we have an R&D phase, which is essentially just research and development. We go into design, then assembling, testing, and finalizing, which is putting everything together and going to San Diego. So Malcolm will talk about San Diego later, but basically, like we had to bring the robot. Like we have 2 people that actually drove from here all the way to San Diego with the robot, and so that's an awesome road trip to do as well. All right, so I'll go through a couple pictures. This was basically the first iteration where we just had the frame, and these are 3D printed, by the way. These are the torpedo launchers. And so that was basically the first iteration. We went through testing for the thrusters. So there was a lab in McGill. We tested thrusters. We also went to the pool. So the way, basically, we test the robot in the McGill pool. Most times, like we have swimmers walk by and wonder, like, what this is doing in the McGill pool. Because we have like a lot of electronics, and electronics and water. It's like people get freaked out real quick. But yeah, so we do put it in the water, and we test. And so we also had the chance to test with ETS. Does anybody know what ETS is? It's, so it's a school in Montreal for technology, and they actually also compete in the RoboSub competition. And we were able to test with them, which was really cool. So they have a really nice submarine as well. They've been doing the competition for a long time. And so once we tested a bit, we realized there were a bit of problems here and there, and so we did some design modifications. So this is when Mikey installed the cooling system. This was the second iteration of the main pressure vessel, which is this one right here. Now last year's competition. So last year's competition, it was the first time we competed. We came 3rd in static judging. Static judging is essentially we present the robot, the technical aspects of it, the design decisions, the business side of it as well, and then we came 3rd of that, which is unreal. And we came 10th out of 45. So those were like 2 huge accomplishments for us, and as it was our first year coming. So I'm going to show you guys a small little video, and then Malcolm is going to talk about basically how it was to be at the competition. So I'm just going to load the video.
By the way, you can find all these videos on our YouTube channel. When we went to competition, we tried to do like daily recaps of when we were there. So we have like little cool videos of the robot underwater and stuff like that if you want to get an idea of how it works and how it's at a competition.
Alright, so the sound is unfortunately only like, it's basically channeled by down there, so I can't, the sound is going to come out of the computer.
You can't see the video on this.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Woo!
Alright, thank you, Paul. Welcome. I'm here to talk to you guys about the AVSI San Diego RoboSub competition that we went to. So there was two sides to the competition, really. There was the professional aspect of it, which was competing and meeting people from other schools and stuff, and then there was having our own fun outside, which is also a big part of it, especially for our team. So just a little preface. These two of our team leaders, Nick Spiel and Mike King, they took a road trip and they went from Montreal to San Diego across the continent. And so they had a blast doing that. They took Asimov with them in the back of the car, the back of their car, yeah. And they just like drove really fast across the country, and they stopped in the Grand Canyon. Apparently that was really cool, and they did some other really sweet stuff. And then we all arrived at the Transdeck. This is where we competed. This is the pool right here is where the competition runs actually happen, so the practice runs and the competition runs themselves. This is the tents where all the teams were, and we got to meet everybody, and people would come around and speak to each other and meet each other. And so in a general day, what would happen is you'd get woken up at 5:30 or like 6 o'clock by this guy screaming into your room. And if that didn't happen, then you decided to sleep through that somehow because he won loudest person at like the XS banquet last year. If you could sleep through that, then you got up with Mike King 3 hours later after he finished doing his hair. And so then when we got to the pool, we did some assembly and some testing because before you put the robot in the water, you have to make sure it works. And then we would do some practice runs and pool tests and stuff. And so this is just a picture. We had Navy divers who were kind enough to spend their time doing that for us and donating their time to help out the competition. And so we did a bunch of runs like that. And then we got to see a bunch of other cool robots from other cool universities. So this is Cornell, and they finished first place, and they had a really sick robot. And then after our robots met, then we all met together also. And so this is us with a bunch of the other teams. This is Cornell, ATS, Florida, and Singapore. Yes, everybody good. Anyways, so these are we got to meet a bunch of really cool universities. They all did really well, and it was a really great experience to meet a whole bunch of people, especially when they're interested in like similar projects to you. So another part of the competition was other teams would come around. They'd come to our booth and we'd speak to them. There was an open day where families would come see us and stuff, and then there was people like hiring. So there were companies, and they would come around and ask us about our robot and ask us about ourselves, and it was pretty awesome. And speaking of ourselves, like talking about ourselves and our feelings and stuff, we had nightly meetings sometimes, and the scopes varied a lot, and so sometimes we would have like feelings meetings, and sometimes we would have serious strategy meetings, so that we could actually win the competition and do a lot better than we thought we could. And so we developed good strategies to win it, and ended up doing really well. We like just a little background before I go into this. We only expected to really qualify, and that means go through a gate. What we ended up doing in our competition run was we went through the gate, hit a buoy, and then we surfaced in this octagon. Now, it wasn't the right octagon out of the two, but we still got a bunch of points for it, which is great. And like it ended up, like all this strategy, all this teamwork ended up paying off, and we actually won 3rd place in static judging. We won 10th place overall, and also this Team Before Machine mentality won us an award that they hadn't really had before. So they created an award for us because they loved us, and they call it basically like best branding. And that was really, really cool because of our Team Before Machine mentality, which I'm about to talk to you about. So besides the actual competition, there's a lot more to it. Like when you have a nice team like spirit, it's always easier to develop your robot. And so we had some good times at the beach and stuff, just like enjoying ourselves, messing around a little bit. And us having some fun with the cones and stuff. And there's an embarrassing picture of me barbecuing. Yeah, that was fun. We had a pool right at our hotel, and that was pretty sweet. It's like one of the beaches that we went to. You had to get down using a rope. You saw that in the video. Actually, you had to like climb down onto the beach. That was cool. We got some local cuisine, like a couple of 18-inch long burritos, and that was pretty sweet. We also went to a baseball game where the home team won by 10-1, and I'm not a baseball fan, but that was sick. So the atmosphere is actually really cool, and it was honestly, San Diego was just a blast. Like I had such a fun time. I think it was the best part of my year. I think a bunch of people on the team would agree with me, and we're all really, really looking forward to go back, and that's why we're so pumped for this year. So Paul loves to talk, so I'm going to give it back to him.
Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the team structure. So this year I kind of changed things around. Last year the way it worked was very much like you have the product manager, divisions, sections, and yeah. So this year I tried to make it more of like a systems aspect. So the way it works is you have the systems team. So yeah, that is a systems team. So you have 3 tech leads. You've got the electrical lead, which is Russell. I don't know where Russell is. Russell's right there. You've got Adrian, which is the mech lead. Is Adrian here tonight? No. Okay. And you've got Matt, which is the software lead, and Matt's right there. So then you have Coy, which is like the systems leader. He's the one that kind of bundles everything up. He's the master student, so it's like, and then you've got Mikey here that will be the systems member, aka Coy's minion. Yes. So and then under here you have got systems. So the way it works is we want to basically try to have systems interact between each other. So have a mechanical system work with an electrical system very well. And so for that, we follow the following matrix. So I'm not going to go through this, but basically it's a matrix of systems where you've got different systems here, different systems here, and when they meet up, you have like to work together. You got a meeting to work together. Okay, so that's basically the AUV. So I'm going to pass it on to Rasha so she can talk about the business team.
So one specificity to McGill Robotics is its own dedicated business team, and as members come and leave the team and come with different skills and vision, we believe that a brand outlives, and that's why we worked really hard in branding McGill Robotics, and that's one thing that the business team did, and you saw that it earned us an award for it, and that's why it's so important, because like Paul mentioned, there's a static judging, and that static judging is not only the presentation at competition, but it's also a website, a competition video, journal paper, and all the spirit that you have around your team. And that we did really well, and that's what got us in 3rd place. So the business team takes care of a bunch of things, and so one thing is marketing. I don't know if you've noticed, but we have a pretty aggressive social media strategy. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We have a bi-weekly newsletter, and that worked out really well for us. It worked out for sponsorship. It worked out for legitimacy in the engineering community, and sponsors really loved that. So that's one thing we really focused on. And talking about sponsors, sponsorship is also something we take care of. As you can imagine, we're a 100% student-run team, and the funding is really up to us. And it's really not about how much things cost, but really how much you can raise for it. And so that's why we were really hard on that last year, and that allowed us to bring 26 people to competition all the way to San Diego. And we were by far the largest group there, and you can notice us everywhere because of that. So that was pretty cool, and that's why sponsorship is so important. Yeah, like, again, this picture, like, we were one of the only robots to have, like, all our sponsors' name on the robot like that design, and people love that, and sponsors love that. So, as I mentioned earlier, we always try to look professional, and we really got recognized for that. One other thing that the business team is going to introduce this year, we decided this year to try something new, and it's going to be a membership fee. This membership fee is going to be $40, but it includes a t-shirt of value of $15, which is one of those t-shirts, and then a notebook. And you'll get the importance of the notebook later, but it was extremely useful for us last year, and that's why we want to continue with that. But that's really a way of kick-starting the year with a budget, and we found that very useful. We thought that would be really useful this year. So it's a new thing. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So talking about money, we also have accounting people. These projects are really expensive, and we have sponsors to deal with, etc., and constant expenses. So to deal with these expenses, incomes, balance sheets, etc., we have dedicated people for that, for check recs, reimbursements, etc. So that was very, very essential in the team as well, and that's why we decided to have dedicated people for that. We also have an outreach coordinator. As I mentioned earlier, we really try to give back to our community, so we always go to high schools in the Montreal area, CEGEPs, to share our passion about robotics, and sometimes we meet high school teams that are building their own robots, and we actually learn from them sometimes. And it's a pretty, really rewarding experience, and that's why we want to try hard next year to do even more outreach events. Always forget the picture. Yeah, so that was us at Lakeside Academy, where they participated to the first robotics, and they built a sick robot, so we exchanged there. That was a really, really cool experience. So just to summarize the positions we're recruiting for: sponsorship liaison, marketing, media, accounting, outreach coordinator. And under this position, it's sometimes one person, two people. But I just want to mention that even if it's a business team, we're not looking for only for business students and management students. It can be engineering students that have a passion for this or like to do that and want to do that at the same time as the technical stuff. So if you're good at graphics, media, you want to help out with marketing, you could do both. You just have to mention it when you want to apply to the team. And that's actually really good. So I'm going to pass it on to Paul, who's going to explain the next step to join the team. Thank you.
All right, so what are the mini projects? Essentially, they are the key to get into McGill Robotics. So we're basically going to spend 19 days with you guys. You guys will be making these small mini projects, and it'll start September 16th and end on October 4th. And what we're looking for, so there's points that we're looking for when you're designing these small little robots. And there are these 7 points right here. So dedication, so obviously we're looking to see if you guys are dedicated to your projects, if you keep coming back. I mean, ingenuity, so engineers are usually pretty ingenious. Time management is also something that we're looking for, like if you're able to, once again, come and make sure you can do both classes in this. Design principles, so design process. Documentation is something that's super important when you're designing a robot, right? So documentation is also pretty important. Communication and teamwork kind of go in the same category. If you guys are able to communicate with your teammates and you know, make a really sick robot. So the theme for these mini projects is make a robot that plays a game, which is very general, but it could be like any game, like play basketball or like chess, or like it can literally be whatever you want it to be. So I'll talk about basically now the phases. So the phase 1 of the mini projects will just be like we'll be putting you guys into small groups, and then we will evaluate on the 7 points mentioned during like a period of 19 days. Then the phase 3 is that you'll be presenting the project. So we'll have this really fun day where you'll come in and you'll be able to present like what your project does and how it works, etc. And then we'll have personal interviews. So the reason why we have personal interviews is if we personally didn't have time to see you guys working, I mean, like, there's a lot of you guys, and this is the second interview session. So we have, you guys are a lot, and so if we didn't have the chance to see you, we'll be able to, interview you, so it's your time to shine while we interview you guys, and that'll be October 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now, basically, like, we'll send you guys out an email. There's nothing to worry about. Like, we'll send you out an email about these mini projects, about how it works, and when we'll be dividing teams. And so this is what we're looking for in general in teams. So not just for these mini projects, for the team, for the rover, just like the AUV, just like the business. We're looking for talented and committed people that can be software, electrical, mechanical engineering students, computer science students, art students, business students, management students, like a lot. And we're ready to accept a lot of members, and even if they're not in engineering, but you have to be dedicated and willing to learn. So I'm going to pass it on to Olivier so we can conclude.
Alright, so before closing everything, again, thank you for all showing up. Just showing up to an info session shows a little bit of that. It shows that you're committed to be part of McGill Robotics. By the way, doing the mini projects during September, you won't be committed fully to McGill Robotics afterwards. Don't worry. It's just a period where you can just try doing robotics and get some hands-on experience and see if you really like joining us. So you'll be receiving an email so far, so you probably have a bunch of questions about how of this going to work. So the email, basically, Paul just told you you're going to receive either tonight or tomorrow night. Will be some information, and there will be a sign-up form in which you can just fill, which you can fill if you ever want to do these mini projects and come with us after. So that's going to be pretty much it. So before close.
So just to clarify, we're going to send an email. So we have a mailing list of people that signed up on our website. So if you didn't do so, you just go on our website, McGillRobotics.com, and you sign up there, and you'll be added to this mailing list. Do it as soon as possible because the email is about mini projects. The form is going to be sent out tomorrow, and you'll have until Saturday midnight or something like that to fill it in and say that you want to participate in a mini project. So make sure you sign up on our website at SIP.
It's very easy. When you go on www.McGillRobotics.com, on the main page, there's a big button, Join Our Ranks. You just click in there, it asks you your name and your email, and boom, you're in our mailing list. Okay? So before closing everything, is there any general question that could just benefit from everyone? You probably have a bunch of questions, and this is the question period. Yeah?
The design that we're going to make for the robot is actually going to be built, right?
Is that the design you're going to do is going to be what?
You're going to build it. If we're actually going to be building it, where are we going to get the components?
We get them ourselves.
Are you talking about the mini projects or about the actual?
For mini projects, yeah. We have a bunch of resources with microcontrollers, motors, wires, things like that. So we'll be providing you these tools.
Right?
But you are completely free to add anything you want that you have at home, or if you want to buy anything. There's no boundary or limit.
The sky's the limit.
But at the same time, don't spend
don't spend too much.
Obviously. Don't do that.
You should be able to make some cool stuff with it.
Because really, it's not really about how great what you make is, or if it's gonna be super impressive, whatever. I know a lot of you don't have any clue of how robotics work or anything like that. We really want to work with you, so feel free to ask us anything. Well, we'll clarify that on September 16th or 17th when we're gonna have our meeting. But we're gonna be there to help you out, and it's really about how motivated you are, curious about learning, how committed, etc. And at the end of the presentation, they're really chill, and it's just to have fun. It's for us to see if you you'd be a good fit, and for yourself to figure out if this is really something you want to do.
Any other questions? Yeah.
How many hours a week will we be working on the robots? And,
like mini projects or the actual?
At both, yes.
So for the mini projects, I would say it's basically up to your group to whenever you want to meet up.
Yeah.
For the actual project, I think it depends on how much time. Obviously, like we see it as like another class essentially. So obviously we put quite a bit of time, and that's because we love what we do. So you're going to start work on this project, and you're probably going to get addicted to it. So I would say, like, how many hours do you think?
At the very beginning, it will be pretty much maybe 5 hours a week, but as we're progressing into the project, will be nearly 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's a commitment.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
It's a commitment. Like, it's hard work. It's not. These projects are very complex, but you learn so much. It's crazy, and so it's very, very rewarding. At the end of it, when you get to be involved in everything, you just want to spend your time working on it because it's extremely rewarding. When you work, you design that thing. So we spend this first semester designing on CAD, and then it actually becomes real, and then it goes into water and actually does what you planned it, like you want it to do or not. But it's just incredibly rewarding. So it's really up to you, but for sure we're looking for commitment.
There's a question.
Where's the team based on campus?
So we were in Amidienne. It was called Amidienne. It was right under the CAF. And I don't know if you guys realized, but there's like a lot of construction going on. So we got kicked out. But we're currently working in. We got like a work office space that was given to us in Ferrier Building, which is like. No. It's the one that's like right on top of like where people chill outside McConnell. That area, right behind that. Yeah.
Next to the administration building, but it's supposed to be temporary for the first semester or until November, something like that. You never know with construction, but then we'll move to a very nice, fully renovated space with a workshop and everything. So.
But the office is pretty cool.
Yeah, the office is cool.
Pretty dope. Okay.
Question? Yeah.
So these projects, like the AUV and these are sculpted like 2 semesters or a year or?
Well, 1 year, actually 2 semesters, fall and winter. This competition takes place in the middle of the summer.
July.
In July, end of July, beginning of August. And the rover project takes place in the end of May, so it's a little bit before.
Any other questions? General? If you guys are like, don't want to ask in front of everybody, we'll stay here for a bit so you guys can come see us.
See us or these people are around. We're all there for them. So if you want to just come and see us, check out our experiences. This is why
even check out the sick robot.
You can ask Alex why he has a cage.
Yeah.
Don't. Right, so thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm not gonna go.